So Dean, after a run of Saturday, Tuesdays, how different has this week been?
Very, because there wasn't a Tuesday. Well, there was, but there wasn't a game on a Tuesday. Yeah, no, it's been a good week. Got some good work into the players. It's always nice to have a clear week to do a little bit of coaching. And the lads have been really good this week, so it's been good to get a few players who've got a few knocks, a bit of extra time recovery, and looking forward to the game now.
You've touched on the knocks there, but people like Johan Lewis, can we expect to see them the weekend?
Yeah, Lewis has been training with us. Johan still hasn't been. He's likely to start training after the Sheffield Wednesday game, so that game will come too quick for him. But Andreas is looking really bright. He's been on the bench the last couple of games, so he's put himself into contention, which is really good. And other than that, you've got Judgy, who's still out, obviously. Jack with his back, but we're hoping to have him back in the next week or so. And they're the only ones at the moment.
And you mentioned Lewis there, a little boost for Lewis as well, inclusion in the Scotland under-21 squad.
Yeah, no, it'd be a great boost for him. He's had some dark days where he's been out injured a long time, and moving south of the border as well, he can probably feel a little bit homesick, but he hasn't. He's got his head down, got on with it. And he's performed really well for us, and he's been consistent as well, which is really pleasing. And to have that recognition from your national team as well, he's superb for him. So I'm pleased.
With no game on Tuesday this week, does that allow extra focus on the visit of Sheffield Wednesday and what they might pose? Yeah,
it has done. But I'm very much on concentrating on ourselves first and foremost. We will touch on Sheffield Wednesday and what their threats are. We'll talk through them, but we're very much focused on what we can do ourselves.
And what do you expect from Sheffield Wednesday? What threats do you expect from them?
Well, I mean, you only have to look through their squad to see the array of players that they've got. They brought in Fletcher during the summer. They've got Hooper. They've got Forestieri. They've got Barry Bannon. It's a list that just rolls off, and they've got real quality. I watched them in their first game against Aston Villa, and I thought they were very good in the first half. I thought Aston Villa were the better team second half. They've had some big games already. They've played Norwich away. Surprisingly, probably from a lot of people, got beat at Burton. But Burton have showed what they're about already this season. And then probably a shock defeat to people as well at home against Leeds. But having watched the game, they've had chances to score, and they're always going to be a threat with the array of players they've got.
And Sheffield Wednesday did the double over Brentford last year. Presumably, new season. That means nothing this year.
No, nothing at all. It's a brand new season. It's about we've got new players. They've got new players, and it's about getting 3 points and putting in a performance. And I was really pleased with the performance last week at Rotherham. And if we can play to that level again, then we've got a good chance of winning the game.
And on the back of a perfect home start to the season, good to be back at Brentford Park.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've had two real tough games so far against Ipswich and Nottingham Forest, and come out the victors in both of them and conceded no goals. So it's a proud record to have so far, and we want to continue that.
And on the player front, there's been a lot of talk this week about Alan Judge. What's the latest with him?
Well, Alan's, I think his injury is well known to everyone, but I think there's been inquiries about him from a number of clubs, but with his injury at the moment, I don't think anybody's going to take the plunge to take him. So he's still our player and very much in our plans. And
Phil Giles and the directors of football have been quite open talking about the David Button and Jake Biddle about how in the last year of their contract the club will look to move someone. Is that the same case with Adam, or is he different?
No, I think it's exactly the same case, but at the moment I don't think anything's going to happen in this window because the lads only had 2 screws taken out his leg a couple of weeks ago. He's a great, I've waxed lyrical about him a lot anyway, and let's see where we are when the window reopens in January, because if there's clubs from our league who are interested in our players and they're competing against us in the upper echelons of the league, then we won't be forced into doing anything, that's for sure.
I mean, is that a very important thing to consider, that he is still a Brentford player to the end of the year, so in January he's still our player?
Yeah, and Alan knows that, and Alan's pleased with that as well. He's continuing his rehab, he wants to come back to full fitness and get back to what he was doing before he got injured.
And another player that's sort of been whispers about this week is Scott Hogan.
Again, another major player. I think people were talking about him after only a couple of games of the season, and before that, he's played 5 games. Since being out for 18 months. So that'd be another risk for anybody. But we want Scott around, and we're happy, and he's our player.
Talk about our players. People you hope to become our players in the next week or so?
Yeah, I'm hoping to bring a couple in. We have been all window, and we're getting very close now. So I'm sure before that window shuts, there'll be a couple of new faces in the squad.